Next on Worcester News Tonight, back to school. A look at how the Worcester School District is preparing for the new year. Plus, the Italian Festival continues in Worcester. What to expect if you head to Mulberry Street this weekend. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Andy Madison. For many students, next week is the last week of summer vacation. And in Worcester, when students return to class, they'll have a new superintendent in charge of the school district. Our Cam Jandro spoke with her earlier today and joins us with a preview of the upcoming school year. Cam?
Andy, Worcester Public Schools opens its doors to another school year a week from this upcoming Monday. Today I sat down with new Superintendent Maureen Benenda to see how she and the district is preparing for her new year.
Summer vacation comes to an end for the children of Worcester on August 29th. Before Maureen Benenda, it marks a new beginning. The new superintendent says in her first year, maximizing success in and out of the classroom is one of her primary goals.
We're going to really focus our work on providing support, visiting schools, and work in the community so that this is an all-community effort. Everybody in Worcester knows that education is the most important thing that goes on in Worcester so that we can educate our youth so that they can become the citizens and make a difference in our community.
Benenda notes while academics are the top concern, the safety of students and faculty is just as important. The district is installing new technology wherever it's needed to improve security.
All the schools will have brand new cameras put in. They'll also have a button in the main office to open the door from the pressing of the button. And also they'll be able to speak to the person trying to get in and ask them, can I help you? Why are you here?
Since starting, Benenda says she's made several difficult decisions, such as improving community relations with the students and what factors go into canceling school. And even though things are a lot different than what she's used to, she's ready to hit the ground running.
I want to welcome everybody back to school. Look forward to coming to your schools and meeting with you as I walk into the classrooms. And I wish everybody a great school year.
Now, Benenda was selected as superintendent after 38 years with South High Community School. She says the new challenge in her career is something she greatly looks forward to. Andy?
A familiar face in a new role in Worcester. That's our Cam Jandro reporting tonight. Cam, thank you. This summer has been notable weather-wise for hot temperatures and little rainfall, causing a drought the area hasn't seen in decades. Spencer is the latest town to issue mandatory water restrictions, banning all outdoor water use. The town's water department reporting reduced water levels in wells due to the drought. And another sign of how bad the drought is in central Massachusetts, Worcester has shut off the fountain at its World War II memorial on the Common in an effort to conserve water. Well, speaking of the Common, the city kicked off its local weekend series tonight in an effort to draw more people to downtown Worcester. The city set up a beer garden with games and food on the Common starting at 5 p.m. There was also live music behind City Hall. Those we spoke with in attendance say it was the perfect way to kick off a Friday night in the city.
I love it. It's a beautiful day. I mean, looks like they have a big setup here and they got food and everything. You know, 10 years ago, you wouldn't see this type of activity on the Common. So it's cool that Worcester is taking steps to organize its community and to bring its community together and to put on these events.
The event also promoted special sales at Worcester businesses happening this weekend. Also in Worcester tonight, the Italian Festival continues. There was plenty of food, music, and entertainment at Our Lady of Mount Carmel Church, which also hosted the event last year. Organizers are hoping the festival can also help keep the church open.
Whatever the church needs, bills to pay, whatever we can get in to help save our church, we're doing our best to reach that goal.
The event goes all this weekend, ending on Sunday. A food service worker at Worcester Polytechnic Institute, who is now banned from campus, was allegedly planning to set off bombs on campus and shoot people at random. Heather Lyons appeared in court today for a hearing on whether she is competent to stand trial. Prosecutors say she was upset with her boss and detailed her violent plans in a journal. According to a forensic psychiatrist who interviewed Lyons, she planned to set off a decoy bomb at the campus center and then set off real bombs at Morgan Hall. The psychiatrist also said Lyons planned to shoot people with a sawed-off shotgun. WPI says Lyons was in custody when they heard about the threats. A violent struggle caught on camera is the focus of a murder trial in Worcester, which is now in the hands of the jury. Surveillance video shows a fight between two men inside City Rooming House, and moments after it ends, one man is shot and killed. Our Brittany Schaefer has a look at the case.
Lawyers give closing argument statements for the Albion Rooming House murder trial. The central question is whether 56-year-old Howard Penn was using self-defense or self-aggression in the shooting death of Lloyd Worcester.
They were always engaged in verbal confrontations and, as some of the witnesses testified, to physical confrontation.
The defense attorney says Worcester had beaten Penn in the past and threatened to kill him. The prosecution says Worcester was shot in the back and he was not attacking Penn.
Shooting him in the back, it's hard to believe that it was self-defense, because, I see self-defense as, by any means, like you're about to die and you that's the last resort, not if someone's walking away, you shoot him in the back.
Surveillance video from January 10th, 2014 has been a key piece of evidence in the murder trial. The two men are first seen fighting, then 90 seconds later, it appears to show Penn shooting Worcester as he walks away.
It has no sound explaining the dimensions and the escalation of the argument caused by the very words that the deceased said.
A resident who lives at the Albion on Main Street says he remembers the night it happened and hopes the family of Worcester gets justice.
He's going to go to jail for a long time for murder somebody.
Because at the end of the day, he did take someone else's life, and you got to think of the family behind it.
Brittany Schaefer, Worcester News Tonight.
A 96-year-old woman involved in a car crash in Worcester earlier this week has died. The accident happened at the intersection of Park Avenue and Lavelle Streets. Investigators say the driver of a Jeep Cherokee went around a construction site and struck an oncoming car head-on. The driver of the vehicle then lost control and struck a construction vehicle. The passenger in the vehicle died. The identity of the victim isn't being released, and there's no word if the driver will face charges. It's been almost 2 weeks since a young woman was murdered while jogging near her mother's home in Princeton. Police continue to track leads in Vanessa Marco's case, but haven't released any new suspect information. Caroline Connolly has the latest.
It's been 2 weeks since Vanessa Marco was murdered, and police are still trying to zero in on her killer. We know that Marco was last spotted here on Brook Station Road around 1 p.m. And police say they're looking for a male who may have been spotted driving or parked there between 1 and 3. Narrowing down who that could be could come down to DNA evidence. Earlier this week, we interviewed a man who said police had questioned him and taken his DNA in connection with the case. He denies any involvement, but further circumstantial information has come to light. We've learned the area resident had a job just around the corner from where Marco died a few days before her murder, and his employer felt he needed to call police when this man didn't show up to work the day after she was killed. When we asked where he was on the day she died and the day after, he said he was alone and acknowledged that his cell phone had been turned off. Police have not said whether he is a suspect in the case, and they continue to review hundreds of tips they've received in relation to it. But nearly 2 weeks into their investigation, Marco's killer remains unknown. Now, the family of that man said they no longer want to comment on an ongoing police information, but police still want to hear from anyone who might have information about this case. You're asked to contact them at 508-453-7589. All tips are anonymous. In Princeton, I'm Caroline Conley for Worcester News Tonight.
A pipe containing and leaking coal tar has been found on the site of WRTA's new maintenance facility. Administrator Jonathan Church says they believe the pipe is connected to a tank mostly on the Eversource property next door. WRTA is meeting with Eversource next week to discuss a plan for the tank. Church says the contamination will not affect surrounding areas and expects construction will continue.
It's in the final phase now. Construction is just about complete. We're now in what constructions are calling punch list stage. The environmental cleanup, we have one pile that's left to be shipped off site, and our property is more or less done from there. The new maintenance facility is expected to be opened by October.
Crews in Webster cleaning up more than a year after a 7-alarm fire destroyed an old mill site. Members of the Environmental Protection Agency were on scene Friday. According to the Telegram, the EPA began cleanup after the property owners said they could not afford to pay for it. Asbestos was found last year on the site. The cleanup could take almost a year to complete. People who live close by say they are happy to see something is finally being done.
I was afraid for my children's health, for my husband's and my health. I was afraid that we wouldn't have a place to live because of the explosions and stuff like that.
There was a lot of fear, and I mean, over the past year, both her and I have had breathing problems, but it makes me feel better that it's being cleaned up finally so that other people aren't breathing in what's underneath there.
The fire occurred in June of 2015. The building was empty at the time.